Hello and welcome. Today we've got Alan Fountain, and we are going to be discussing the 17th letter of the alphabet movement validation and what's happening in all the current events. Now, just before we begin, you can subscribe to our Telegram channels and to nicholasveniamin.com for my free email updates. And if you're watching this for the first time on YouTube, I will leave the link below in the description for the full interview, unless, of course, myself and Alan can choose our words wisely due to the insane censorship that's happening right now. Alan, thank you for joining me. How are you and what have you been up to?
Hi, Nicholas. Happy New Year. What I've been up to is, like I'm always, I'm making lemonade out of lemons and outrunning the demons in the deep state. So business as usual. But we're slaying dragons here in America, just like y'all are there. So life's good.
That's really, really good. So what do you think is happening between, Linwood and, General Flynn and all of this thing together? Is it a distraction? What do you make of it to be?
Very good question. There's so many patriots out there. I'm getting messages. People are so confused that here we have General Flynn, the mascot of the 17 movement. He comes up with the where we go one, we go all mantra. And then we have this very successful defamation attorney who was involved in the Kyle Rittenhouse situation from a philanthropy perspective. He tried to help the guy get out on bail. This is a national platform where Lynn Wood, who is this decorated attorney with some most successful cases in America, for the Richard Jewell bombing case, he was successful with that. He is a whistleblower attorney that goes up against the faction unlike any others. And we have this general who is the mascot of the 17 movement, and we have their two camps battling back and forth. What is it? Everybody is really confused. I personally had a sinking in my heart when it happened, when it first began a couple of weeks ago. But fortunately, I happened to be on a chat and connected to one side of this camp. But I've met both sides personally. I've had verbal conversations and chat with both of these individuals, Linwood and General Flynn. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tell the public what I'm observing the two narratives are, and we'll decide whether or not we think it's a distraction in the military campaign. In Sun Tzu warfare, they say that in order to make your enemy think you're weak, you have to look weak. You have to make you weak, you look strong. If you're weak, you look strong. If you're strong, you look weak. So if this is a distraction military aspect, then we're very strong because we're looking weak to the public because we have a divide in our camp. So what I'm going to tell you, there are two talking points, and I'm going to let the public make their own decisions about where they want to side. So if we say that these are two actors in a simulation, you can look at it from that way and decide which actor, not by popularity, but whose talking points do you identify with? We don't know if this is 100% real or not. I think it's real because I've never seen better acting from two different sides who have very valid points. General Flynn happens to be on a side of this patriot movement where he's aligned with people that are still using the one eye symbol, the Eye of Ra, and the Illuminati. But I don't know if he is not a plant in there to spy, or is he one of them? How do we know? The Lynn Wood side is pointing out lots of valid things, a history with General Flynn that does not resonate with his discernment on being current on what's going on right now. On the General Flynn side, we have Sidney Powell, and we have a bunch of other patriots that was at this first roundup that I attended in Dallas back in May, Memorial Day weekend. And that group was there. So I got to bond and kind of observe them from their personalities. And I'll have to tell you, when I start weighing out some of these odds, I'm leaning with Lynn Wood right now for principle. I tried to link up with the General Flynn camp right after that event in Dallas in May. What happened is Doug Billings, who is somewhat siding with them, he reached out and said, introduced himself, was very forthright, and said, I want you to come on my show. It never did happen. This was to talk about the kids movement. They're not talking about the kids issues, which is a big red flag. And one of his members of his camp, I know happens to be associated with some advocates that I am. And that was a big red flag because those advocates that we had in common are deep state advocates. So I don't know if General Flynn could be in a sting operation or if he is maybe compromised. We don't know that. But Lynn Wood is fighting for the points of voter integrity, which is very big here in America. Is what's led to the compromising of our election in January with Biden being installed. So until you have voter integrity resolved, we're at mismanagement. He proclaims and documented and validated that the Flynn camp is slow walking the voter integrity issues. They collected money to resolve this issue and different audits. And on the Lynn Wood side, there is Professor Clements, who has been part of the audits. And then there's an Arizona Congressman, Ron Watkins, who went to the Mike Lindell Symposium to verify had there been fraud in some of these voter hackings, et cetera. So he was a proactive expert on reviewing whether or not the system had been hacked. So you have these people on leaning. I won't say they're picking sides, Ron, but he's an expert for this side. Then we have General Flynn, who they've collected money, but no results. So allegedly tens of millions of dollars have been collected with no results on resolving voter fraud. Trump comes out in an interview over the last few days and points out the importance, it was with NPR, the importance of 2020 voter integrity. So here you have Trump siding with a narrative that is in alignment with Lynn Wood. You have Trump, who is for the children, sex trafficking. It's not happening on the General Flynn side. They rejected me. Lynn Wood's side accepted me. They're actually fighting for me and with me. So is this a movie script, or have we caught someone with their hands in the cookie jars that we're just going to be disappointed that our hero is a controlled opposition? We don't know. That's what all I can weigh in is what my personal experiences are, and say that there's two points going on. I identify with the Lynn Wood side, even though I'm heartbroken over losing our mascot, General Flynn, in this narrative. So the sides are divided. The General Flynn team has all lined up with stars by their names, and the other side are sticking to their biblical principles. So you have this is biblical. It's a biblical fight happening right now for to save America and to save the children that are being trafficked. So I think people need to follow both sides and listen to the talking points. Don't choose idols and personalities. Listen to the facts. But
absolutely. There are, Lynn Wood is a defamation lawyer, so he's very careful. If he says something, it holds a lot of weight because he's a defamation lawyer.
Absolutely.
And when he says and makes bold statements, it can be quite alarming in a good way, or we should pay attention, or it should be looked at more closely because he's a defamation lawyer. So what other type of things does Lynn Wood say that you have come across that you think, wow, he said that?
Well, number one, he's recorded all of his conversations. There was a conversation with Patrick Byrne, who he recorded. Patrick Byrne has been on the link to Flynn, the very close alignment. This team that was close to General Flynn, they went to Lynn Wood's home back a year ago and were there for a couple of weeks. Lynn felt that he had been compromised. He was being hacked while they were there. So it became very uncomfortable for him. So he gathered a lot of intelligence and information of his experience. But Lynn Wood is pointing out the past history of General Flynn being linked to Pegasus. Pegasus is something to do with hacking possibly the mobile phones of getting data from citizens. So there's this negative associations he's linking General Flynn to that doesn't sit well with him, as well as his personal experience dealing with them, with not only Sidney Powell. It's getting kind of soap opera-ish because in this narrative, you have this recording of him talking to Patrick Byrne, and Patrick Byrne is disclosing how he wanted to get away from them a little bit because Sidney Powell was trying to sleep with him. So it made him very uncomfortable. So here we have this soap opera narrative going on with, some little soap opera stuff going on in that camp over there. And then we have Lynn Wood over here trying to get business done. So it's very confusing. But Lynn Wood, as you said, what's coming out in the media, it looks like Kyle Rittenhouse has been compromised. Kyle Rittenhouse is doing the talking points for the deep state. And they've turned on Lynn. So obviously, when you turn on someone in public, they're a threat to you. I'm a target constantly. We had a hard time getting going here earlier. And I'll talk a little bit about my personal thing at the end. But Lynn Wood is a defamation attorney, and he's putting some facts out there. You can go to the Patriot Voice chat. And if you can get into the chat, you can see some of the threads. I'm going to try to write an article. I may not have it ready today, but something pointing out these different talking points. Lynn Wood is not going to say something in public that he could be sued for. So you have to put that into the narrative. So we have to say, is General Flynn playing a role, or is he not who we thought he was? I'm telling you, controlled opposition exists. My entire early history as a molestation advocate was dealing with controlled opposition. That's the people who look like they're on your side. And what they do is they are waiting for the other side to collapse so they can move in and still have the respect of the public as being the voices for this movement, but they're not going to alignment. It's a big red flag. They're not doing anything very active for the children, and I don't know why that is. The hallmark here is that the Patriot Voice chat under the Patriot Voice, John, Amy, and that team, they've invited General Flynn and all of those associated with him that Lynn has made allegations against to come on a live chat and have a civil dialogue. And there's a gentleman on their side named Brian Gamble who is they're in memoirs. It's kind of crazy. We had this memoir early in the movement back in 2017. They're doing memoirs again right now. It's gotten a little bit childish in many ways, but they're battling. If they would just maybe focus on the points and deliver to the public, they might be heard a little more clearly. But their intentions and what they're doing is very honorable and very good. But you said it, Lynn Wood is a defamation attorney. So I don't like our sides being divided. We already have the enemy, the satanic liberal left side. No one wants to go to battle because I know when you're in battle, it's draining your energy. So when people are fighting each other within our time, it's wasting our energy when we should be focusing on the prize. There's really no necessary, if you focus on the prize, the end game, I think you reserve your energy and you manifest it. Where when you're battling, you're draining and lowering your vibration. So I personally, if someone starts attacking me, I'm gonna give them a rating of how good it was or how humorous it was instead of battling with them, because things like that don't bother me. They can make fun of me, name call, whatever. But a lot of people like to defend their honor or whatever. But I'm hoping that we're going to come to an understanding soon. But I implore people to listen to both talking points of both sides. Don't choose idols or your celebrity in this movement. Look at the talking points. Voter is very significant, and they've sabotaged it on the Flynn side, it appears. So that's a big red flag. We don't have any results.
Well, Alan, it's been an honor to have spoken with you. Thank you very much. Is there anything else that you'd like to say to the viewers before we finish? I know there was something. Yeah,
I would like to say happy anniversary. This is our 1-year anniversary of my coming on your show. It was January 14th of last year, and we've come a very long way from me being terrified, just having been tortured by the deep state, to you doing my very first public interview, to my now being a speaker at the Patriot Voice, speaking at an event with General Flynn, and also Lynn Wood coming up in April There's an event going to be on actually near his property. That's the Patriot Voice speaking tour. So we've gone from me being targeted to the deep state to being able to be a vocal representative of these children in this trafficking movement. My platforms, I'm on the run right now. They knocked out all my ability to collect resources until today. I just set up a Christian kind of a GoFundMe account, but it's called Christian Give, Go, Send. And I'm going to ask you to put that link at the end of this because I have like 41 cents in my account. They have beat me down for 3 months and no way to survive. So, but I wanted to say happy anniversary. And you've helped me achieve a lot of things for the children and also for this movement. And so I just want to congratulate you and wish you well for the next year.
Well, I applaud you, and I'm honored to be part of that journey for you with you, Alan. And I'm very proud with what you've achieved, and it's been fantastic. And thank you very much. And I
Thank you.
look forward to continuing these interviews with you to
Absolutely.
provide people the information that they deserve, especially about the children. But thank you very much, and we'll speak very soon. God bless you. Bye
All
bye.
right. Thank you. Bye-bye.